it strong.
Disney have bought LucasArts or Lucasfilms or whatever, the Star Wars. They've bought Star Wars in 2015 or 14, something like this. And until now, in 2022, we still haven't got one, besides Mandalorian, we didn't have one good product. So today we're gonna review Book of Boba Fett, the series that nobody needed, nobody waited for, but it came out, so we as Star Wars fans, some people who have Disney Plus, they will watch it. We'll see like, alright, we will check this out, we will see if the Book of Boba Fett is good, or if it's worth our time or anything. And so today I think I'm gonna answer this question. So we're gonna start by some positives, then we will go to some negatives, and just for you to know, there will be no spoilers. I might drop a spoiler review maybe tomorrow or in 2 days, something like that, in the weekend probably. And we will talk with no spoilers, but I don't consider a spoiler a presence of some character that comes in, I think, in episode 5, because he's quite an important character, so I will talk about him later. But just for you to know, if you have seen, the episode 5 or something like this, then you know who I'm talking about. But, just for you to know, there will be no spoilers of episode 6, episode 7, and those big reveals, those characters that we didn't knew will come out in this series. But this guy, I think that I'm kind of expected that he will come back, and so yeah, I don't think it's that big of a spoiler, so you all have been warned. We will talk about positive number 1, the past, or should I say, what happens between the episode 6. So what happens with Boba Fett when he falls into this Sarlacc pit, and what happens since then until what happened in Mandalorian season 2, when Boba came back, where we first have seen him. So of course we know that Boba Fett was the guy who appeared in season 1 already. He was the guy that we've seen, his boots only, so we weren't quite sure if that was him. But in the series, it is confirmed that it was him. I mean, we all knew it was him. So what happens is that the story of Boba and what happened after he have fallen into that Sarlacc pit, when he came out, and what happened until the season 2 is absolutely great. So we have this Tusken story arc with Boba being first some kind of kidnapped by them, and finally he's somewhat trained by them. He joins their tribe and all that kind of stuff, and it's something very enjoyable to watch, I won't lie. It's something that is very cool, and I think that it's a little bit a shame because we actually never went one step further with that story arc. I think it's a story arc that wasn't even supposed to be here on the beginning. I think it's a story arc that started as a filler in the story. Started with this little thing that will just fill some episodes, but it turned out pretty cool. It turned out really okay, and I think it's something that was very enjoyable in that TV series. And honestly, I think that it was one of the best parts, especially from the story point of view. I think it was the best story arc of all. And even the characters, because the way they spoke was like, they spoke with, gestures, they spoken with this mimical language or something, and it was very cool to see them, communicate, grow, respect to one another, and all that kind of stuff. And honestly, this point the Tuscans was probably the best part of the Boba Fett TV series. Positive number 2, the special effects. So especially the last episode, the season's finale, is great from that point of view. So we have few scenes that are looking incredibly good. We can see the budget in it. We can see some nice idea behind it, and I think that every single one of us wanted to see this character that is fighting in the last episode. We always wanted him to see going as crazy as he did in the last episode. So I don't want to spoil anything. If you know, then you know. But there's quite a lot of good looking action sequences, especially like I said, the last one. So there is a lot of sequences that are looking pretty bad, but I don't think it's the problem of the budget, but more of the director, who just didn't knew how to shoot properly a few scenes. I think that there was some good ideas and some bad ideas, but like in every movie basically. But there's also quite a dope scene with the train from the Tuscan story arc again, which was just incredibly well directed. There was a lot of good special effects. There was some stunts and everything, and I enjoyed that sequence very much. So from the special effects point of view, from the special effects point of view, the TV series Book of Boba Fett is alright. Positive number 3, the surprises, the appearances. There's a lot of things that happened that were like something that we never expected, but it was cool. So we, especially the episode 6, delivered on that. The episode 6 is like this massive episode of just Dave Filoni giving everything, just alright, let's put this guy in here, just full fan service, and it is great. Honestly, it is. I've enjoyed it. It's cool. I think that doing too much of fan service isn't good for the TV series or movies, or basically in general in medias. Just doing too much of fan service means that you just don't have any ideas for the story. But here it worked pretty well. There was an incredible scene with one guest character by the end of episode 6. So honestly, I was very happy with the surprises we had. And honestly, I think that what we had in this TV series, in a matter of surprises, that was good. So once again, I cannot spoil anything. If you want to hear more about those surprises and what I think of them, once again, you can check the video that I will, drop in a matter of few days. I will try to do it as quickly as possible. And I won't say more, but like I said, surprises are a very good element of this TV series, or at least what episode 6 delivered. Positive number 4, the last one, Mando. So we didn't know if Mando will appear in the first season of Book of Boba Fett. We don't even know if there will be another season, to be honest. So we have this post-credit scene, but I didn't understood one thing from it, just for you to know. So basically, if you know what happened, drop it in the comments. Maybe I will know more about it, and then I will be able to establish if yes or not we will have a second season. But yes, Mando. And Mando came in the 5th episode, and we had this little problem that Mando was like, the episode 5 was just another episode of Mando. Even the episode 6 was almost full Mando, nothing else. So Mando came in, and we can see that Mando still works. So we can see that without Grogu, without Baby Yoda, he still has something that makes us want to watch him more on the screen. And the fact that right now he has a dark saber, that he has all those different tools. I mean, he has this Beskar spear or something. There's a lot of there's a lot of going on with this character, and it's cool that he is still enjoyable. So actually that series hyped me more for the third season of Mandalorian than the second season of Boba Fett by far. And yeah, I think that his appearance is something very cool, and something that is definitely a positive in the Book of Boba Fett series. Let's now go through the negatives, shall we? And the first negative is, you never guess, Mando. Yeah, so with Mando there is this problem, because from one point, from one side, I'm so happy to see him. I'm so happy that he makes an appearance. But let me tell you something. As a guest character, you just cannot allow a guest character that appears in the second half of the show. You cannot just make him steal the show like nothing's going on. And this is exactly what happens. We have Mando coming in episode 5. They tease him in episode 4, and what happens is that episode 5 is only about him. Episode 6 almost only about him as well, with few exceptions. But once again, if a guest character dominates over the primary character, over Boba Fett, and we want to see more Mando than Boba Fett in series about Boba Fett, then I think that we have a bit of a problem right here. Because what we have is just a secondary character who just comes in, and the primary character disappears, and there's not 1 second of us just missing him. It's like having a movie about Batman, and at half of the movie just Batman disappears, and we never want him to come back. It's like ridiculous. It works, but it shouldn't be like this. It's a TV series about Boba Fett, Book of Boba Fett. So I think that disrespecting Boba Fett by throwing Mando in and let him steal the show, because it's also him. He steals the show, but he steals it because Disney wants him to steal the show. They give him 2 full episodes. It's not like we have Mando and Boba in one scene, and just Mando is so great that we just appreciate him more. Disney voluntarily gave 2 episodes to Mando, and Mando completely dominated it. So because of that, we have this feeling that Mando, or the Book of Boba Fett series, should I say, is just a preview to Mando season 3. So I think it's a big negative for Boba Fett and for this character, because I think he has some potential. There's a lot of things that we could just say about Boba Fett in this TV series in general, I think. But doing this to him, just throwing a guest character and let him take over the show, is just the worst thing you can do. Second negative will be the secondary characters. So there is a lot of problems about secondary characters. So Fennec Shand is a cool character, but I think that she lacks this personality in the series. So she just appears as this perfect assassin that is some kind of personal protector of Boba Fett, which is stupid, because Boba Fett is not a Mandalorian, but he is like a great bounty hunter. So I think that he should be able to protect himself, and we've seen it in Mandalorian season 2 that he can protect himself. So once again, why make Fennec Shand be Boba Fett for Jabba? Like, I don't know if you get the idea. Like, there was Jabba, and Boba Fett was just staying here looking badass with his gun and just protecting Jabba if someone just tried to do some shit. And then we have Fennec Shand doing exactly the same for Boba Fett, but we know that Boba Fett knows how to fight, so it doesn't have any sense. Honestly, Fennec Shand is useless. She's not useless, but she makes Boba Fett useless, and that's even worse. Then we have this this kids army, or what should I call them, the mods, those kids who are just, you know, taking away their limbs to, you know, replace it from droid parts or whatever, this cyberpunk stuff. I'm like, so when I heard about them first in the TV series, you know, you may think, all right, maybe we have some dudes like, you know, badass cyberpunk dudes, like we like cyberpunk, or, you know, those type of characters. Like, you know, if you ever watched or played a video game that happens in that, you know, dark future with cyberpunk style, so the people who are becoming more and more, you know, machines than human, that it is cool. But then we see them, and no, just fucking no. I will never forget that one scene with Boba going into this bar with this Twi'lek woman being the boss around, you know, who she was actually a great character, to be honest. I don't know what happened to her, but it's a shame that we didn't have to see her, you know, more. I think she was an interesting character, to be honest. But he is going to that bar or this casino or whatever. He's walking, you know, down the street like a boss, Fennec Shan next to him, and four scooters with different colors, red, blue, yellow, green, like freaking Power Rangers. And I'm watching it and I'm wondering, when somebody thought that is cool and it works with Star Wars universe. This legit looks like some Power Ranger stuff. It is just so bad. It looks terribly bad. And there's no words to describe how bad it is. It is completely dramatic. So those characters are not very enjoyable. I don't think there's a lot of potential to them in the way they are right now. I think that if they would change the look, if they would change, you know, some appearance, some style and everything, there's a lot of potential, because I think that in general the cyberpunk concept in Star Wars, it's something that it's, you know, worth a shot, but not like this. Not when I have this emo punk girl wearing red leather with this cybernetic arm, just trying to be badass, but actually looks completely, you know, just, it just doesn't fit. It's like throwing a Teletubbies in a horror movie. And when I'm actually thinking of it, that fits even more, because Teletubbies are just horrifying as fuck. But you get the idea, right? That doesn't mean that we don't have some good characters, to be honest. We have this Wookiee who is actually badass, but we just don't see him that often, which is shame, really. But still, I think that they're just those secondary characters. This dude, the guy who works for the mayor, he's so annoying. He's so annoying. Every single time when I've seen him on the screen, I was like, please just take him away, just throw him into the bin. At the very last episode, there was this scene when I was absolutely perfectly sure that somebody will just shoot a guy, and I was like, please just do it, just shoot him, for Christ's sake. I'm not asking that much. Negative number 3, I think it's a 3, story arcs. And what do I mean by story arcs? I mean that we have 3 or 4 different characters that might begin an interesting story arc. I should say even more, they started an interesting arc, you know, the story arc, but for whichever reason we are dropping it. So I won't talk too much about this because there's a lot of spoilers, you know, but like, for example, the Tusken story arc, technically speaking, it is over. But then there is this one thing that concerns this, this story arc that isn't finished, that we don't know what happened to, one character that I think was an important one into that story arc. And so there's just plenty of those. We have those Hurtis, like brother and sister, who are those Jabba cousins or something. So they are here, and we have some plot about them, and then that disappeared. Like this. Pow! Nothing. They disappeared. I don't know who was writing the script. Won't lie, I haven't checked. But I think that someone who is starting to make some plots about something, some story arcs, and he gives us characters that are interesting somehow, and then we just cut the rope, like, all right, we're forgetting about this one, we're forgetting about this one, we will forget about this one, and we will throw Mando to save the day. No, that doesn't work like this. Honestly, that doesn't work like this, and this is something that pissed me off the most, and I don't even want to laugh about it because it is so annoying. I'm like, if you are creating a story, then just tell the story. Like, honestly, don't try to do something weird, because at the end of the day, Boba Fett is a weird TV series. It's something that looks like and feels like we expected, something that nobody needed. It looks like something that just someone decided to just drop it. People are waiting for Obi-Wan to come on Disney Plus. They are waiting for Ahsoka. So yeah, just let's do things, right? And honestly, I just feel completely annoyed by this, because I think that if you are starting a story arc, or at least when you are making a TV series, then you should respect the fans, and at least when you are creating an interesting character in a story arc, then you just should finish his story, because it's something that you should do. So yeah, that is another negative, a big one, to be honest. Negative number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. I don't know which one I'm bad at counting. Boba Fett, the primary character. Ha! Great, isn't it? He is one of the biggest negatives, and let me tell you why. When you are making the TV series, there's one golden rule for every of you. I don't know who is watching it, but if you are watching it and you have this ambition of being, the best director or the best script writer in the world, like I want to be one day, then you should focus on making the main character at least one tiny bit enjoyable. What we have in Boba Fett is, Boba Fett. And the problem with Boba Fett is simple. Boba Fett is not enjoyable. When I've seen him in that season 2 of Mandalorian, the first appearance, when he was at the end of the first episode or the second one, when he has seen Mando with his armor, and we've seen him, with those scars and everything, we were like, great. And the day we have seen him with his full armor, when he was destroying those stormtroopers, ripping them apart, he was just going crazy mode on them, and I was we want to see this. It's beautiful, it's incredible. This aggression. I was almost excited to see the TV series when I've seen the last episode of Mando, this post-credit scene when he was sitting at this throne and everything. I was like, I mean, even this stupid little scene when he was coming down from Slave One. I will never call Slave One fire spray. I don't give a shit. When he comes down from Slave 1 in one episode of Mando, once again, he's badass. When he comes into that bar to talk to Bo-Katan with the Mandalorian for this last episode of Mandalorian, he is badass. In every single minute of his existence on the Mandalorian TV series, he was badass. That's the only thing that made me, tiny bit excited for the Book of Boba Fett TV series. I was like, yeah, I want this. I never waited for this. I wasn't excited for this. I wasn't like, give me this TV series. No, but I was like, yeah, if they will show me more of Boba Fett from the Mandalorian, full in. I'm in. I'm like, I want this. I just want this. And they did what they do best. They've decided to cut his fucking balls off and be happy with it. Don't get me wrong, I have no problems with pacifism or characters that don't want to fight or whatever, but let's make one thing completely clear, because in TV series we don't even talk about it, and this is just, it's so stupid, because when we see this Tusken story arc or whatever, we are seeing him training, he is becoming wiser and everything. But then, what we know is that after this Tusken story arc, he meets Mando, he gets his armor back, and he starts to fight and be just badass that he is. And then for whichever reason, he comes back to Tatooine, he kills Beep Fortuna or whatever the tool name was, and for whichever reason he doesn't want to be the boss, or he is just, he has no personality. He's, I will rule with respect. Oh, I will rule with this. Oh, I will do this. Oh, I will do. And he is boring to tears. He is lame. What he did to those stormtroopers was absolutely amazing. And then we have like 3 or 4 assassins just coming at him in the middle of the road, and for whichever reason he just don't know how to fight them. Fennec Shand does everything at his place, and at the very last episodes he knows how to fight, he remembers. So why he was so lame? Somebody will tell me, but he was lying into that Bacta tank, and he was like, getting back in shape. And when he was fighting the stormtroopers, was he in shape? He wasn't. He was all scarred because he came, he was just, still wounded. But he was badass. And then we have, Boba Fett less wounded and not badass at all. I should even say that him lying in the Bacta tank was the worst thing that they ever done, because for whichever reason now he just isn't, the badass that he used to be. And for this reason, I will tell you that I don't want to see Book of Boba Fett season 2, or at least I don't want to see them make it like they did this time around. I think it was such a shame that they created something interesting with this character, especially in Mandalorian season 2. They created something very attracting, something that had potential, and they just took this potential into the bin. Nada, nothing. And they just decided to make this TV series a preview to the Mandalorian season 3. So that's pretty bad, honestly. And one last negative, the very last. And this one goes for not the TV series in general, but for Disney and the producers and the script writers, every single one who was behind this TV series. Because I won't, critique the actors. The actors did what they could, and honestly I think that Tamora Morrison is the guy who, you know, should appear more often. I'm hoping to God that he will come back as Rex or Cody in the Obi-Wan series or Ahsoka series. I'm praying for this, honestly. But yeah, this one goes for the producers, and I will give my opinion about one thing, because I think it's something that we all know. It's a knowledge that we all have as Star Wars fans, that Disney doesn't have any, well, I don't like to use this word, but once again I will say it, balls to just do something. So honestly, they just don't. So we already know that they did this trilogy that I just don't like it. I'm not this type of guy that just said that, you know, they ruined my childhood, because I'm pretty straightforward on this. If I didn't enjoy the movie and it ruins another movie for me, that I just try to forget it. And this is what I did with episode 9, for example. I am this specific person because I'm in that small 1% of people that enjoyed The Last Jedi. The hate, the waves of hate that will come towards me, I don't want to even comment on that. But still, what do I think is that they created a trilogy where every movie, with the exception of the 8th episode, was as safe as possible. It was fan service upon fan service upon fan service. It was just, you know, doing this, just trying to, I don't know what they just try to do, but they are extremely soft. They do not take any risks, and same is here. Exactly the same is here. For whichever reasons, I have just this feeling that this TV series never dared to make a step forward, to just do something like good. For example, when I was thinking about the Book of Boba Fett series, I was like thinking, finally, some TV series, maybe not R-rated, but I was thinking like, you know, maybe we'll have some dirty Star Wars story, and we know they can do it. They did Rogue One, and some moments of Rogue One were great, and they were showing that this war between, for example, the rebels, the resistance or whatever, no, not the resistance, or the rebels, and the Empire was dirty. That both sides were doing the dirty stuff, and they weren't perfect. They weren't good, they weren't bad, they were just, they were just fighting each other. And that was great. And then we have Book of Boba Fett, and the potential it has, because it's a Disney Plus TV series. It's not a movie in the theaters, so basically what we can have is, more creative freedom. And I'm thinking, the stories, those corruption, just kidnappings, all that kind of stuff. I was thinking about that dirty criminal story with Boba Fett in it, trying to, control the whole stuff. And the only moment I felt like this might be something cool, something like criminal story, it was when Boba was going first time into that bar that I spoke about earlier, with that Twi'lek lady that was this princess of this bar, and that was the only place that I felt that felt part of this criminal underworld story arc or something. But sadly we never had that again. And so this is my message for all those people that are working in Disney or LucasArts or with Star Wars in general. Please do something risky for once. Do a story that doesn't feel like written especially for 5 years old, because this is a TV series that anyone can watch. Basically my little brother of like 10 years old can watch it, understand everything perfectly, and go to sleep. But making a story about a criminal or a bounty hunter, someone who is working in a criminal underworld, and adapting it for kids, it doesn't work in any way, because the kids will, don't care. I mean, the criminal underworld, it's those guys are just bad, and then just trying, and the good, I mean, the older guys like me are like, what is this? Power Rangers with Boba Fett. I mean, seriously? So yeah, just to finish, I will give this TV series a 5 out of 10. A 5 out of 10, nothing more. It's a 5. It could have been a 6, but like I said, I will not give bonus points to this series because of characters or other things that should not be in here. I reviewed this series for what it is, and I think it's a mishmash of everything. And honestly, yeah, just a huge disappointment, because at the end of the day, we had an enormous potential. We had a lot of stuff that we just could have worked with, but yeah, the potential was just ruined, and yeah, because of that, I'm giving a 5. I'm not giving a 6. I could have given a 6. If you want, you can give a 6, but I'm giving a 5 -1 because of that lost potential, and just Disney trying as hard as they possibly can to just do a story that everyone can watch. So yeah, I'm hoping it will be the last time. I'm hoping that fans will, say what they are thinking about. So I've seen fans on Twitter being hyped up, and I don't know if some of you are fans that are watching it. I guess I know I was hyped as well for the characters, the guest appearances and everything, but we shouldn't allow just fan service to just dominate on us, because just let's take away all those surprises and guest appearances, just concentrate on the story arc, and we can see that it was just a joke, and Disney and LucasArts just pissed on us. So honestly, I mean, it's my opinion. I think that if you like that series, you have totally a right to do so. So if you like that one, you should comment on it. If you didn't like, or if you want to give a 0 out of 10, you can still comment. You can comment whatever you want. You can comment on the quality of the video. What should I possibly upgrade in that video, so for the next videos to be better. If you enjoyed that review, you can also like. Once again, don't tell anybody, that's a secret between you and me, And if you enjoyed that video, and you are enjoying reviews in general, or other type of videos, vlogs, reactions, unboxings, and blah blah blah, then you might consider subscribing. I will, like I said, drop a spoiler review of Boba Fett very, very soon. I will drop also the review of Dying Light, the first game. I will drop a review of Hawkeye, a TV series that I've just made. I think I've turned it like a week ago, but I still haven't published it. So yeah, all those things might very soon come onto the channel. So if you're interested in those, just pop in, subscribe, just to not miss any of those. I'm thanking you for today, and yeah, well, see you around.